if I accept to get the round of applause, do I have to take the points of information?
We'll give you a round of applause.
Right, so ladies and gentlemen, our debate tonight is primarily a debate about possibility. Our motion is asking us, is it possible to save the Catholic Church? Can the Catholic Church be salvaged? So, what is it that we're trying to salvage it from? Usually when you talk about salvaging something, you're talking about saving it from some kind of loss or destruction. What kind of losses or destructions are we talking about? I will consider two possibilities in this speech. Firstly, I will look at the idea that the survival of the Church is in danger, that it needs to be salvaged from becoming extinct, memberless, uninfluential, or worse, outdated. Secondly, I will look at the possibility that what the Church needs to be saved from is some kind of unstoppable moral erosion or wrongness. I'm going to argue that it is possible to save the Catholic Church from both fates. The notion that the very survival, the very existence of the Church needs salvaging, that its presence in society is dwindling in a way that can't be stopped, is a very common idea in some places. But it's also untrue, as Michael Nugent has kind of hinted at. In two continents in the world, North America and Europe, church membership is decreasing. However, in all other inhabited continents, the church's numbers are increasing at an astonishing rate. In 2000, there were 1.1 billion Catholics in the world. By 2010, this had risen to 1.2 billion Catholics, and the rates of membership growth are increasing at a rate that's bigger than population growth. So if more and more people are keeping on joining the church, how is the church going to shrink into some kind of wreckage of nothingness with no members? Unless the members suddenly all die, or all convert to religions very quickly at the same time, or read the selfish gene and go, oh my god, I never realized this before, but like, oh my god, you're a selfish gene. So I don't think that that's a very plausible possibility, and it's at least possible to say that given that the church is in fact getting bigger and bigger and bigger, it isn't suddenly going to shrink into non-existence. So that's the first possibility. The second stance from which you could look at this is you could say maybe the church is going to be destroyed morally. Maybe in an age of the internet, of increasing access to information, the people who are joining it in increasing numbers are only doing so because as time goes by, people are just getting more morally outdated, more gullible, and more inclined to join evil organizations. Will the church's destruction be a moral destruction? And is this kind of destruction an inevitable fate? I think not. The church does face problems, and it surely does need to fix itself. But that does not mean that its problems are insolvable or that its faults are unfixable. When we see a problem in a body or in an institution, we usually try to fix the problem. We don't just sit back and declare that the institution can't be salvaged. Take psychiatric and psychological practice in Ireland, for example. Mental asylums across the country over the 20th century have been used to lock up huge numbers of people, often unnecessarily, often for life, and usually to their detriment, due to unsanitary and inhumane conditions and treatments. In one hospital, psychiatrists used their position to sexually abuse their patients, and this didn't come to light till many years afterwards. So the institution of psychiatry and psychology in Ireland clearly had very big problems. But that doesn't mean that we go, oh, well, psychiatry didn't work. That's unsalvageable. Let's move on and do something else and not worry about treating people with mental health problems properly. No, this meant that we had to improve our institutions, and this is what we're actually trying to do. This is the reasonable way of dealing with problems. The reasonable way of dealing with problems has always been to try to solve them. So in the case of psychiatry and psychology, we're not going around saying the Irish Association of Psychiatrists must be destroyed. We're saying let's make our institutions better so that they can do their job better because we need them to do their job better. We can do it, yeah.
Okay, so at the point where the church that we're talking about won't even adequately apologise for the wrongs that they've done and clearly then don't want to change in a good way, how can we say that we can salvage them when they clearly don't even want to be salvaged because they won't apologise?
I think
back
to what you were saying earlier, that the church isn't just several figures in the Vatican and the CDF, that it's also composed of people like the people in the Association of Irish Catholic Priests, or the association in Ireland, We Are the Church. And these people are pushing for change. And lots of people who are speaking at this debate have been pushing for change in the Catholic Church. And I think if you look at the fact that there's 1,197 million members in the Catholic Church, most of whom presumably care a little bit about morality and a little bit about the institution that they're choosing to stay with, I think it's reasonable enough to expect change to happen eventually. So, yeah, there have been serious issues that have emerged in Ireland with the Catholic Church, and there have been obvious problems. And these are huge problems, and the damage that has already been done cannot be undone. But the institution associated with them can be changed so that things like this can never happen again. And to say that it can't is just to downright accept defeat. And more important, it's also, what I'm going back, sorry, I'm getting mixed up what I said to you earlier. And already people are trying to make changes. As you said, Pope Benedict resigned recently. Pope Francis is giving out a survey to Catholics to find out what their opinions are on certain church thinkings, which is a fairly new thing to do. People like Father Flannery have been speaking out recently. And at the end of the day, surely, if you don't have faith in the church, or the Pope, or the God that represents it, surely just numerically it's reasonable enough to have faith in 1,197 million people who presumably want the best for their church that they're deciding to stay with. When I was reading for this debate, I came across an article in the Guardian that had an interview with Sinead O'Connor in it. And there was one line one thing that she said that I thought was very nice, because it went well with the speech I was trying to make. And you were saying, and you might have changed your mind since, that 10 years from now the church will be nothing resembling what it has been. And I think that this might be true, and maybe it isn't. But to say outright that any kind of change in the church for the better is impossible is making a huge claim.